my banner as suggested. So I'll worry about compliance later.
Yeah.
I'm learn to ask for forgiveness as opposed for permission
Exactly.
to go
Actually,
through.
I shouldn't say that. Compliance is your friend.
Oh yeah, compliance. We're on tape. Compliance is my friend.
We
Absolutely.
Oh,
love
right.
Okay.
compliance. We love
Okay.
compliance.
Um,
So what
I'm
do you,
also
yeah, go ahead.
posting once a week.
Okay. Once a week.
Once a week for now.
Okay. Andrew.
I redid my entire profile, redid my banner with my LinkedIn QR or my Planswell QR code. And I think it looks pretty sweet. I actually already got an appointment from it. So, and then just trying to post engaging content with, if I can't think of something semi-controversial for my hook, then I'm not posting anything. But usually I'm posting things targeted at Christians like Jesus hates retirement.
Nice. I think we talked about that at the last, I believe, LinkedIn session we had. And it worked.
Oh, dang. I wasn't here for that. Oh, yeah, it worked well. Got
Yeah.
more engagement on that than I've ever seen in 4 years on LinkedIn.
There you go. So for those who are missing all these LinkedIn sessions, there's your plug to start attending more of them, because we talk about stuff and we implement them and it works. So that's great. Thank you, Andrew, for that. Lane, welcome, my friend. Are you using LinkedIn? And if you are, what effectively are you doing right now?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, I am using LinkedIn, posting every day. So I spend a couple hours every Monday and just make some posts for the week. So I have it ready. So posting every day and then just trying to comment and engage as well on LinkedIn. I did redo my profile and I got some early success doing that, but it's kind of tapered off, and so has the engagement on my stuff. So I'm kind of feeling a little bit stuck and not sure if it's worth keeping on going or what, but that's what I've been doing anyway.
Okay. I'll touch on that a little bit as well. David, yourself?
I don't have a religious procedure when it comes to LinkedIn, but I don't post very much. I more comment, I think, than post. So that's about it. I redid well, I didn't redo. I left my firm back in summer last year, and that's the last time I touched my profile. So I guess I should do something with that.
There is, David, there is a guide in the school that you're welcome to download and implement. Basically gives you step-by-step of things to do to kind of make your profile stand out more. So if you haven't already downloaded it, I recommend doing that.
Cool, thanks. I'm interested in hearing, actually, Andrew, you said you have a QR code on your profile. Is that in the guide as well? How to add the QR code?
So the QR code is something you get if you become a Planswell client and sign up for leads.
Yeah.
One of the things you get with that is a QR code that people can scan, and it takes them to your referral link, and then they can submit their financial planning information. And so I just implemented that into my LinkedIn banner.
So that's what I mean, that you can put the QR code in the LinkedIn banner. Is that in the guide on how to do that?
No, it's not in the guide, but it's actually quite simple.
Oh,
You
is it?
can
Okay.
create QR codes. There
Yeah.
are lots of areas you can get free QR codes.
Yeah.
So you just attach a link to it, and then you go into Canva, and then you take that, you slap it onto one of the Canva templates, and you upload it, and then it works.
Perfect. Thanks.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and if you need any help with it, David, let me know. I'll gladly walk you through it.
Thanks, Andrew.
Okay. Mitesh, how you doing? Haven't seen you in like 2 days.
I'm doing great. Nice to see all of you.
Sorry, maybe you missed that part. We're just kind of getting into like what is everyone currently doing on LinkedIn. I know you're doing a couple of cool things. Do you want to mention it?
I don't know if it's cool, but I'm trying. So, so I'm doing LinkedIn Lives. I have one coming up next week.
Whoa.
So there are, I think, approximately as of now 300 attendees. But again, before you guys get excited, usually out of 300, maybe 10, 15 show up. So
Still pretty good in my books. 10, 15 people. It's like doing a seminar with 15 people showing up. That's good.
yeah, Yeah.
What do you talk about in those, and how does your compliance feel about that?
So luckily, I know how it is for you guys. Luckily in Dubai, where I'm from, we don't have much of compliance as far as you're not, yeah, exactly. So as far as you're not mentioning the company or the provider, you're good to go. You can talk about whatever.
You don't even have to beg for forgiveness, eh? Hey, Rick? Okay, Lawrence, welcome, my friend. I guess you are new. I don't recognize the face. So welcome. We're just kind of going around the room just to see what people are currently doing on LinkedIn to gain some sort of traction or gain clients that way. What are you up to these days?
Actually, I haven't done anything with LinkedIn, so that's why I'm very curious to optimize my LinkedIn profile. I just started posting a video, and on it, I'm reworking my about me and who I'm targeting with LinkedIn. But I'd love to hear, any suggestions, any new ideas or techniques that would help me optimize that. So I'm looking forward to this meeting. Thank you.
Okay, great. So I will reiterate, there is a guide in the school that you can download
Okay.
to get your profile up and running. And it does work because a lot of people have mentioned that once they made the changes, they started to get more traction. So I would start with that. Don't overthink it. I think a lot of people get a little bit overwhelmed once they realize there's like so much stuff that you can do on LinkedIn that it's like paralysis by analysis. So they just don't do anything. So that profile guide is the best first step, Lawrence.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
Lawrence, I'm putting that in the chat right here. The link for it.
Okay.
It'll
All right,
take you
thank you,
into
Andy.
school, but it's there.
Okay, thank you.
Andy,
Yeah.
I know you weren't really using LinkedIn for a while, and then you just started. What are you doing? What are you struggling with? Like, what's working?
I think, tinkering around with the banner here and there, I still don't love it, but it's a hell of a lot better than what was there. But I think probably the thing I was struggling with is coming up with things to post. And it's getting into that practice what we preach, right? Consistency and persistent, and something is, better than nothing, right? And so the way that I kind of counterbalanced that or figured that out was, okay, I dedicate my Sunday and I go and I do all my posts for the week. And that way I don't have to think about it. It's on autopilot and it goes out. And if I think of something better that I want to say, I either create that for a future date or I'll replace it with something that I have scheduled, right? So if everybody is not aware, you can go and make, if you want to be ambitious, you could make 30 days worth of, or 20 days or whatever worth of LinkedIn posts and auto schedule them right into LinkedIn. But I found that I've increased viewers and likes. I've had people reaching out to me through there, which is really exciting.
Okay, fantastic. Can everyone see my screen share?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So first thing I'm gonna do is address that whole content thing. I mean, come on, guys, we gotta get over this part. And I'm not suggesting this is the way you should go. What I am suggesting is if you're stuck for content and you really just don't know what to do or what to say, just go into ChatGPT. I am a financial advisor. I usually put 250 for LinkedIn post. Give me a topic, guys. Investing.
The importance of starting
Planning for
early.
education. Yeah.
Okay, hit enter. And I'm not suggesting you should do this word for word. You can go in there and kind of remove some stuff or include some stuff. But if you're ever stuck not knowing what to post, it's okay to post. You don't have to post necessarily every day, But if you're going days or weeks without posting anything, at the very least, like do this. It took 5 seconds, right? And you can go back to this original prompt, right? Which is, I'm a financial advisor talking about investments. And sorry, you said child's education?
I was gonna say 529s or college education,
Sure,
college
529.
planning.
Well, 529s might be more specific. Let's do, yeah, children's education. Because there could be other strategies, right?
Yeah. Ermos, have you found much success, or do you know how to train ChatGPT to write in your own
So yeah,
voice?
right. Like I do have some other prompts that I've stored in a file. Now I wasn't intending to talk about ChatGPT, but I'm just showing you like how easy it can be. 100%. So I mean, Andrew brings up a good point. At the end of the day, you can actually train ChatGPT to think the way you want it to create your posts. So you can tinker around with it. But yes, this is kind of very basic and standard. If you want to get away from the whole AI part, because I know LinkedIn and some other platforms look for AI generated content and they'll suppress it. What you do is you can just copy and paste this. And there's another app called Quillbot, Quil, I think it's 2L.
DOT.
Yeah. And you just basically, you cut and paste and you throw it into Quillbot, and then Quillbot will regenerate it and takes away all the AI, or at least what the platforms would recognize as AI. So
It'll actually give you a couple choices of the rewording of that sentence or whatever. And Ermos, I swear, brother, we're on the same wavelength a lot. I just put a prompt in there to help you create a prompt.
there
Right?
you
So
go.
you write a prompt that you think is good, then you ask ChatGPT to act as a prompt engineer and review that and then optimize to make it better. And you tell ChatGPT to ask you questions before proceeding. So you, as Ermos mentioned, you can get ChatGPT to be teaching you and improving on what you want to do by asking it to help you improve on what it is you want to do.
It's amazing. Sorry, Andy, did you put that in the chat?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Perfect. All right. So I want to get into like the hack for today. So I'll tell you why this is important, because LinkedIn is constantly changing their algorithm. So right now, what's really driving impressions, well, one is video. That's going to be a topic for another day. But the other one is comments. So by you commenting on other people's posts will increase your reach, but at the same time, you know, like me personally, if someone comments on my post, I will respond to their comment, and very often I will go check them out as well. And if I like what they have to say, then I will end up commenting on their post. So you can see how this kind of can grow over time. But then what normally happens is you have 5, 10, 15, 20 people that you consistently comment on, and then you realize, oh geez, you know, like I click on this and then I got to find Andy, and then I got to get out, and then I got to find Rick, and then I get out, and I get Andrew. Oh, Andrew didn't post yet. Maybe I'll come back in 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is, because I want to make sure I catch his post today. And it just becomes a big mess. So today's hack is going to make all that disappear. So what used to take me an hour now takes me about 15 minutes. So if you guys want to follow along, you're welcome to do so. But the first thing you would do is just go into the search bar, and I'll kind of go a little bit slow so you guys can follow along for those who are doing it. So hit the search bar on the top left, and then just hit enter. That's it. And then go into posts on the top left here. And then if you scroll over to the right, it's all filters. And then if you look down, you click on latest post, or so latest. And then just underneath that, where it says date posted, you put 24 hours. And then you scroll down a little bit more, and it's from member. So you're going to click on this from member. And now you can start adding names. So I can add in Rick. Oops. So how do you spell your last name, Rick?
Machinger. It's right there.
There it is right there.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is you just keep adding names. You keep adding names. You keep adding names. All right. And once you've filled out all your names, then what you're going to do, oh yeah. So then you go down here and you hit show results. Everyone's following me so far? So you type in all your names. So don't worry if you only got 2 or 3 in right now, don't worry about it. You can always go back and edit it. But hit results, show results. And what's going to happen, it's going to create a timeline. Now, from there, I'll show you what I'm doing. You can go into, so I have a PC. Sorry, I have a Mac. So mine is bookmarks. I think for a Mac it would be under favorites. But I have my LinkedIn stuff saved up. There's about 12 or 13 names in there. So now these are all the people that I've clicked off. So Bruce McPherson, and I can hit see more. I can hit a comment. So if I keep scrolling down, these are all the people that I comment on a daily basis. And it's going to show me all their posts for the past 20.
Why didn't my post show up?
Oh, because this is my list.
Oh, no, meaning before when you put my name in, it didn't, it showed no results from posting.
Oh, because we put 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
So unless you post within 24 hours, that's not going to show up. Like you can adjust that if you want. But since I'm on here every day anyways, I just hit 24 hours. And this is so convenient because now instead of having to go in and out to try to find the people who want to comment on, it all lined up onto one feed. I can get through it in like not even 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Whereas before it took me a long time because I had to keep going back and forth. And on top of that, sometimes because I don't have my list written down, a lot of it goes from memory and I have to try to figure out, okay, who did I miss today? But this is perfect. It just lines everything up. You get everything done right away and then you're done for the day, if that's what you wanted to do. Comments are important because it drives the algorithm and it also drives other comments, which also drives the algorithm. So this is a big one these days. In the past, comments weren't that big of a deal, but now comments more than ever is driving the algorithm because LinkedIn, as a platform, is really encouraging the engagement, the connection. So unlike other platforms where like Instagram and TikTok, what they drive is just views, right? They just
Hey,
want.
how important is it to comment only on your target market or just comment on anybody? What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, that is a great question, by the way. So let me kind of explain how the algorithm works. You post something, and you have your connections. And let's assume, sorry, Lane, do you have a niche market?
Yeah, blue collar business owners.
Okay, so let's assume you have 1,000 blue collar business owners in your connections. When you post something, LinkedIn will only send it out to a certain percentage. So maybe 50 or 100 people in your connections will see your post. If no one engages with it, the algorithm's going to say, okay, Lane posted crap today. We're not going to push this out. And it gets stuck. Nothing's going to happen, right? But as soon as somebody starts to post, or sorry, as soon as someone starts to comment, and then another comment, and then a like, then the algorithm says, okay, wait a minute. I think Lane's onto something today. There's a little bit of traction here. So now instead of 100 people seeing it, now maybe 150, maybe 200. So every time a comment comes on board, your algorithm will expand within your own connections. So it's irrelevant whether I, who is not your target market, comments, or someone in your target market comments, that is irrelevant. So it's actually to your benefit to get comments no matter where they're coming from, because that will increase your algorithm within your own connections. Now, the way you can get connections to people outside of your connections is if I'm not part of your group, but I post something then in other people's feeds, they're going to say Ermos posted a comment on Lane's post. You may have seen that before. It's usually the very top, it's like one line. And that's how you expand outside of your initial connection. So yes, obviously you want more comments from your niche market, but there's zero downside from getting comments from people who are not in your niche. Does that make sense?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
thank
add
you.
your most. I know one of the things that you talk about too is commenting on your own posts.
Yes.
Right? Like one of
Yeah.
the best practices is make a post and then you make the first 2 comments saying, hey, you know, I thought of something after this that I should add to this or whatever. That will now up how many people see it, as Ermos just explained, right? And you know, I think it all goes into that idea of a crowd draws a crowd, right? So think of every comment and like as one more person in the crowd, right? And so I don't get certain feeds or certain things in my feed some days from some people, but when their post has a ton of comments on it, all of a sudden it shows up in my feed, which is what Ermos is talking about. So Lane, let's say auto car workers are your niche market, right? You know, going and commenting on things that those people would be following on is a way to get you visibility into that niche, right? And if you make a comment that is somehow interesting, that will likely prompt them to click on your name and go, who's this guy? That makes sense. Ermos, did I explain that right?
You did, and that's a little known fact too, that when you comment on your own post, it still drives the algorithm. So if you see some of the top influencers on LinkedIn, they will always comment on every single other comment. So I know Mando, him and I talk every once in a while, and he will get a couple hundred or even 300 comments on each post. Well, 150 of those comments are actually Mando replying to other comments, because that will drive the algorithm and gets it out to more and more people.
Yeah, and I think the ones I really love a lot, Ermos, I know you do it as well. And Andrew, I thought maybe you did it, but making a post where it asks a question, like, what do you think about this? Or would that be a yes, and why? Do you say that is going to encourage a comment, which is going to now have all of that positive effect on getting the comments and boosting your visibility in LinkedIn.
Mitesh, you had a question, my friend?
Oh yeah, just regarding the comments, I think it's also important, like when you do get a comment on your post, that you quickly reply to it. Does that also impact the algorithm?
It does. But okay, so the short answer is yes, it does. But at the same time, I don't want people wasting their time just hovering over their computer screen, just waiting for someone to post a comment on their LinkedIn post, right? But it is true. So if you know that you have your posts set up, like all my posts are set up usually at least a week, sometimes as far as 2 weeks in advance, 7 a.m. my time. I will make a point to go in around 7:30 or 8 o'clock, because by then there's already 3 or 4 comments. I will add 1 or 2 of my own, respond to the 4 or 5 other ones. So I know that within the first hour of my post going live, there's already 10 or 12 comments and like 10 likes. And that will usually drive it, because I find probably 75%, I would say, of my engagement will usually happen the first 2 or 3 hours of when I post it. And I think it's because there's so much more happening at one time. So to answer your question, yes, Mitesh, it's best to answer right away. But at the same time, like, be strategic. Don't, like, I wouldn't be going and refreshing your computer every 10 minutes looking for that post, but maybe go in there a couple times a day, 3 times a day, to see if you can reply to some of the posts.
Sure.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course, go ahead.
So going back to that, so if I put a post out and I got 40 comments or 40 likes from other financial advisors, that's nothing to be discouraged about, because that's, I think, like, it's not going to go, it's only going to go to them or their clients who won't be interested in anything I have to say.
Or maybe they will.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you absolutely don't want to be discouraged. But then my question to you would be, if you're a financial advisor, David, then why are you connecting with so many financial advisors?
I know it's when I first got started, I just, you just accept everybody and then it's like, so I've got to start, maybe, do you start weeding people out?
No, don't delete anybody. Just add the people that you want to add as potential clients. Okay. Guys, we still have a few more minutes left. I'm open to any questions. Did everyone get that hack? Did everyone figure it out? Or do I need to create some sort of spreadsheet to plan this out?
So Irma, you just saved that after you did that search and got all the people that you wanted to track. You just saved that as a bookmark itself. So every time you go to that bookmark, it's automatically there. Okay.
Automatically there. It's one click, and then everybody you need to comment on is right there in one feed.
Perfect.
Yeah. If you're a Mac guy, you can just hit Command D and it'll make a bookmark.
Oh, there you go. I did not know that. I'm a new Mac guy. All right, guys, we still have a couple more minutes. Anybody have any questions? Anything at all?
I had a question about the about section.
Yeah.
Like I was just going through Max Pashman, who's like a flat fee only financial planner in US, and his about section was very interesting to me. And I felt like if you combine that with the guidelines that you have given regarding highlighting the pain points, and then I think it was the first section was the pain points, and the second section was something on the lines of what we are able to do for clients.
Okay, I will take a look at it. I'm very familiar with Max Pashman. He's the guy that does those graphics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And it's funny too, just so you guys know, like Max is kind of famous for these graphics that he creates, but they're actually fairly basic. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he just does them in Canva. It probably takes him 10 minutes, and then people are like gaga all over it. But again, it's that just proves at the end of the day, it's not about being amazing or great or phenomenal. It's just being different. So the fact that he takes the time to create these little graphics and it kind of takes a complex issue and distills it down to make it very simple, I think that's a very powerful strategy that everyone should be using, specifically or especially financial advisors, because everything we do can be very complicated. And then we talk to clients and then we tend to make it complicated, which doesn't help us convert those prospects into clients, because all we're doing is confusing them, right?
Oops.
All right, so guys, this is time, unless somebody has a last question they want to squeeze in.
I was just gonna put in here, if you go to visual, I don't know if any of you have heard of this, but visual capitalist has good graphics every once in a while. I think that's what it's called, visualcapitalist.com.
They're incredible.
Yeah, and it's like they're really nice. Now, not everything is going to be applicable, but sometimes they have things that are pertaining to financial planning or statistics about Americans or Canadians or whatever, or globally, that are something that could be utilized by us in this industry to demonstrate a point, or just gain some interest. And it's
Great.
totally free.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week, and we'll see you in school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.